Linking on my brain.
Yo guys, welcome back to CP Gaming, episode 2 of my TNA TEW 9 save. Shout out to everyone that has liked and commented and viewed my last couple of videos. Greatly appreciate it. We had a decent show last time at 52 rating, 445 people. Hopefully we can build upon that. So let's get into our second show of TNA Shane O'Mac era. We kick off with a pre-show match where we have Mike DeVecchio and Leon Slater tagging against Sami Callihan and Sean Legacy. In a pre-show bout that had subpar wrestling and little heat, Mike DeVecchio and Leon Slater defeated Sami Callihan and Sean Legacy in 12 minutes when Leon Slater pinned Sean Legacy. Wrestling of 39, crowd reaction of 18, segment rating a nice 43. We did have Sean Legacy come to us, who wanted to be at the show. We said yes, he had decent stats. I wanted to check him out. And yeah, he seems to be decent. Sami Callihan was going to take the pin from Slater, but he was not happy about that, so we did not do that this time. Slater 46, decent rating there, making a name for himself on the pre-shows. Mike DeVecchio 31, Sean Legacy 32, and the star of the show was Sami Callihan on 48. Mike DeVecchio was really off his game. We then move into the next pre-show bout, which we have Harley Hudson versus Heather Reckless. In a pre-show bout that had TEW wrestling and non-existent crowd heat, Harley Hudson defeated Heather Reckless in 9 minutes by submission. 25 wrestling, 12 crowd reaction, and a half-decent 26 segment rating. Both performers are very much similar within their in-ring performance at 25 for Hudson and 26 for Heather Reckless. Again, we are just using these pre-shows to build the new people that can come up, i.e. your Leon Slaters, your Mike DeVecchios, your Harley Hudsons, even your Heather Reckless. I know she took a pin here, but we can build them up and get some popularity for them where they were able to get onto the main show. Then we move into our main event of the pre-show, where we have the Rascals, who are making their first appearance, versus the Good Hands. In a decent pre-show match, the Rascals defeated the Good Hands in 14 minutes when Zachary Wentz pinned John Skyler with a bite the curb. The match was designed to revolve around a lot of high spots. John Skyler was the weak link. 44 wrestling, 28 crowd, and a nice big 50 segment rating there. Zachary Wentz had a 50, Trey Miguel a 52, John Skyler a 28, and Jason Hotch a 46. So 3 of the guys there definitely could be on the main show. I've got nothing for the Rascals at the minute, but there will be something in the future. So keep watching. So that's the pre-show done. A pretty decent pre-show there, ending with a nice 50 segment rating. We do move into our main show now, where we kick off with the world champion. We kick off with Nick Nemeth coming to the ring. He's laughing and he is smiling. He says, "Impact Zone, please be standing for your champion." Shane thought he could catch me off guard by pitting me against Moose unannounced. But I was one step ahead, and again I've shown I have outsmarted a McMahon. I have this title and I will do anything to keep it. I am done pandering to you guys, and I will take a leaf out of a legend's book, that legend being Kevin Nash, and make this about money. I am done here for tonight, so I will get off and I will go get some food, and I hope the show is rubbish for you losers. But before he can leave, Shane O'Mac music hits as he makes his way to the ring as Nick backs up in in the ring. Shane on the ramp says, Nick, you may have won last week, but we all saw you cheat. From past experience, I know you're good at that. However, at Bound for Glory, you will face Moose in a match for his rematch for that title in a ladder match. As for tonight, don't you get off just yet, as you will be in action in a 3-on-3 match. So find yourself 2 partners, as you will be facing the System. So not how it planned out for Nick. He's now in a main event on a 3-on-3, but who can he get to be his partners? 54 segment rating. And again, a potential future heel turn for Nick Nemeth was hinted at during this segment. I think we're all pretty to know that he's pretty much there now, but we just need to wait for that right moment to do it. In the next segment, we have the Knockout Champions awaiting their challengers, who have stepped up for a title shot against Spitfire. Remember last week they issued an open challenge to anyone to come and take a shot at them. 33 segment rating. We got 5 more people in the building, by the way, guys. 5 more people is 5 more people that's paying for this Impact, which means we are on that road to chasing AEW. We're only about 8,000 off, but we will get there. We then move into the match. Who is stepping up? And it is Angelina Love and Mickie James back for one night only. In about that had decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling. Spitfire defeated Angelina Love and Mickie James in 11 minutes 50 when Dana Luna pinned Mickie James with a bridging German suplex. The match was designed to tell a specific story. Spitfire make defense number 2 of their TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championships. Angelina Love was the weakest link. So a return to TNA for one night only. Angelina Love and Mickie James tag in to try and get them titles, but they do not. 38 wrestling, 29 crowd reaction, and a nice 44 segment rating there for that tag team match. Jody Threat at 39, Dana Luna 42, Mickie James at 41, and Angelina Love a disappointing 29. After the match, we have Angelina Love and Mickie James raise the hands of the champions before leaving. Jody and Dana are in the ring celebrating when the lights start to flicker and a video appears on the Titantron. It has 2 figures that he just can't make out with distorted voices. They say, "Bound for glory. This is the day your reign as champions ends when we come to TNA." The video then cuts off. 39 segment rating. Who's coming for the champions at Bound for Glory? 2 weeks away. We then move into a match with Rosemary versus Tasha Steelz in a bout that had decent reaction from the crowd and subpar wrestling. Rosemary defeated Tasha Steelz in 10 minutes by submission. 34 wrestling, 26 crowd, and a 36 segment rating. Rosemary a 36 and a Tasha Steelz 31 of in-ring performance. Rosemary did have a creative finish, but it was a failure. And Rosemary and Tasha don't seem to click, and it made for an awkward bout, which probably didn't help. We could have got a nice bigger rating there if both of them did click, but you know, sometimes you take a risk and they don't pay off. But a pick-up win there for Rosemary. We then move into a massive 87% segment rating. Best segment we have had on this by a long, long, long way. We have Joe Hendry. He is in the ring before his upcoming match and he has a mic. He says, "Josh, what is this all about? Are you jealous of how popular I've become? Are you still bitter about your contract? Well, you did one thing wrong and you didn't keep me down. So why don't you come out here and we can go again? There's a silence for about 30 seconds in the impact zone, but there's no sign of Josh. It looks like he isn't coming. Joe Hendry was superb with our script and he had the crowd in the palm of his hands. 87. We then move into Joe Hendry's match, where he has a match with Alan Angels. In a bout that had good wrestling, a decent reaction from the crowd, Joe Hendry defeated Alan Angels in 11 minutes by pinfall with a freak of nature. 54 wrestling, 38 crowd reaction, and a 61. A 61 match in TNA. We are getting there, guys. 58 for Hendry and a 50 for Alan Angels. But after the match, Josh Alexander, he comes from the crowd and he attacks Joe Hendry again and leaves Joe Hendry in the middle of the ring. It's looking like Josh Alexander has one up on Joe Hendry again. How will Joe Hendry react next week? 46 segment rating. In a digital media championship match, we have PCO versus KC Navarro. And PCO picks up the win in 9 minutes by pinfall with a PCO assault. PCO makes defense number 2 of the TNA digital media title. 42 wrestling, 27 crowd, 44 segment. PCO had a 44 and a Navarro 39. We did have AJ Francis at ringside. After the match, he pulls Navarro out and they back up looking confused and scared in a way with PCO as he stands in the ring looking all weird and menacing. But it seems these two have got their hands full with PCO at the minute. We then cut to a video package from Steve Macklin. He says, for years I've dreamed of being a professional wrestler. When I finally did, it was a great moment. I looked up to a lot of stars, but there was one guy who always caught my eye, and that was Eric Young. Now, Eric, there's no doubt that you are a legend of TNA, but tell me one thing. When did you become such a little bitch? Where is the old Eric? Well, I've just come off the phone with Shane and he's granted me a match with you at Bound for Glory. So please, I'm begging you, Eric, bring me the real Eric Young. Steve Macklin calling out Eric Young there, and he wants the real Eric Young. And we know which one he's talking about. 39 segment rating. We then see Nick Nemeth, who is backstage. He's prowling around when he stumbles across a couple of guys. But you just can't see them. Guys, help me out tonight. Against these lame guys. We have history. And I would very much appreciate it. Is that a yes? Great. We see Nick walk away looking all pleased with himself. 69 segment rating. Who has Nick Nemeth recruited for his partners? We then have an X Division match where we have Matt Cardona versus Mike Bailey, and in a decent match, Matt Cardona pins Mike Bailey in 11 minutes with a Rough Rider. So Cardona has actually just beaten the X Division champion in a non-title match. 43 wrestling, 40 crowd reaction, and a 46 segment rating. 42 for Cardona, 44 for Bailey. Matt Cardona maybe has just booked himself a title match after pinning the champion. We then move into the main event of the night, and it is the System, which consists of Moose, Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards versus Nick Nemeth and his tag team partners, the Hardy Boys. And in a decent match, it is the System who defeat Nick Nemeth and the Hardys in 15 minutes when Moose pinned Nick Nemeth with a lights out. 2 champions in a row have been pinned by their opponents. 51 wrestling, 42 crowd and a 51 segment rating. Eddie Edwards 54, Brian Myers 40, Moose a nice 59, Jeff at 51, Matt at 45 and Nick Nemeth at 59. So both Moose and Nick Nemeth have a 59 rating. It does advance 2 storylines, so we know the Hardys have just taken the titles off of Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards. So Moose pins the champion. Matt Hardy was penalised for being in extremely poor form. That does end Impact. What do we get? We get a 59. We got a 52 last show. We got a 59 this show. We have done a lot better. It has increased our popularity in 43 regions. That is great. We just need to continue to increase so we can move up and start to get a little bit bigger stars that can come in. There's a few stars that think TNA are too small for them. But for now, this show has been pretty decent. That nice segment there with Joe Hendry. Decent match with Alan Angels, the match of the night. So guys, if you have liked episode 2 of this save, please comment, like and subscribe. It definitely helps to push it out to everyone to get them to be able to see it. And again, if you are enjoying this, throw in your comments in there. Hoping the mic's a lot better now for that person that says I need to turn it up a little bit. I've done it one more time. I think this is the max I can go, so hopefully it's working for you. So guys, I will see you for episode 3 next time.